Right, hello, lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where it has been a hecticated week for me, and I do apologise for not covering the Motherwell game, going a bit of MIA, and it seems like a theme. Well, I'm finished school now, so really there's no excuse, but I have been trying to keep busy, and a bit too busy as it seems. I haven't really been able to keep up, but we're back for the final game of the season, and we have some other stuff to talk about today as well. Since I've been gone, a couple stuff has happened, and it feels wrong to just overlook it in the name of the preview, so let's combine the two. Before we go any further though, if you guys are enjoying the content and you want to help support the channel, the very best way to do so is to click that like button and click that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, to start the video, a massive congratulations to the gaffer, Ange Postecoglou. Today, just before I recorded, he was inducted into the Football Australia's Hall of Fame, ironically joining his assistant, Harry Kill, who has been in the Hall of Fame since 2019. Nonetheless, it is a massive honour and a testament to Ange, another milestone he can add to the cabinet, which is filling up pretty quickly and will only fill up a lot more after this season. So, massive congratulations to Ange. He 100% deserves it. Deserved to be in the Hall of Fame before now, but, you know, being at Celtic, it's an undeniable fact, and winning the Scottish Premiership with Celtic, undeniable that he is the greatest Australian manager of all time. No one comes close to Ange. Anyways, before we get into the actual preview, one more piece of news. I want to mention the Sydney Super Cup, which does start in 5 days' time as Celtic do take on Sydney FC. Now, with some Celtic players missing out on the cup because of the World Cup, 2 B-team players will be joining the rest of the first team who travel down to Sydney. With no surprise, one of them is, of course, Bosun Lowell, who really I have a lot of high hopes for, and so do a lot of other Celtic fans. We believe, I think there's a strong mutual feeling that he can certainly be one of the B-team players who will be able to make a mark in the first team. Fingers crossed, there's very few of them, but hopefully he is one. And the second one is someone we have even more high hopes for in Rocco Vata, the son of Rudy. He is a talent. He's 17 years old and is an absolute talent. Ange clearly wants to get another look of him and how he fits into the first team, because there has been rumours that there is interest from top European teams for him. Ange will want to keep him, but so too, he wants to see him play because he's a bloody good talent, Rocco Vata is. He scored in pre-season for Celtic and he's been firing for the B team, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be at both games, so I'll be able to give rundowns on each player. I might even vlog the games. Is that something you guys would want to see? Let me know in the comments below if that's something you guys would want to see, like vlogs of the matches, but we'll assess it when we get to the day. It's very soon. I actually better get my skates on. Anyways, let's look at the preview now, and this is, of course, the final game before the World Cup, and also the final game of VAR before we get a break from it. Now, while, of course, there is VAR in the World Cup, it is certainly much more effective than it is right now in Scotland. Anyways, Celtic are firing on all fronts at the moment. 5 wins from our last 5 matches. And while VAR does make us work a lot harder for each of these wins, it doesn't matter because they're not making us work hard enough to the point where we drop points, because clearly since VAR has been introduced, Celtic are undefeated. Love to see it. Anyways, as from the men from Dingwall, they have 2 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw in their last 5 games. However, that doesn't really do them justice. They're in a bit of form at the moment, 2 wins in their last 2 games. So, certainly not a team to take easy, but also not the best of teams that we could be versing in the final match. Now, looking at the squads available for Ross County, they have 4 outages in Alex Samuel, Connor Randall, Ben Purrington and Ben Payton. So 4 outages for Ross County. The only one notable there for me is Connor Randall. He always seems to be involved in the Celtic matches. Like, not involved because every player's involved, but he seems to get well stuck in there. So that certainly is a big out for Ross County. As for Celtic, we know Callum McGregor is out of this match. So too James McCarthy, but who cares about him? Anyways, don't be surprised if Ange does rest some of the World Cup stars to prevent any injuries happening before they head off to their respective camps in Qatar. So, who do I mean by that? Looking at Josip Juranovic, Dyson Maeda, Aaron Moy, probably not Cameron Carter-Vickers though, seeing as he is our fill-in captain at the moment. Now, will Celtic go with our strongest potential lineup, seeing as this is the final game before the World Cup? No, I don't think so. I think Ange will also still incorporate some rotation just before the international break for the World Cup and also the Sydney Super Cup, so do expect some changes here and there. But it wouldn't surprise me at the same time if we just go flat out and just look to absolutely obliterate Ross County. Anyway, stop waffling from me. The lineup looks like Joe Hart in between the goals, in between the sticks. Sorry, Tony Ralston at right back. Then the two centre-halves will be Cameron Carter-Vickers and Carl Starfelt. Then at left back, I think Burner Bay will get a start. Of course, rather Taylor, but rotation as always. Then into the midfield trio, I do think Aaron Moy will be rested, and we will see O'Reilly, Rio, and Haksabanovic line up as the triangle. Then into the front three, Jota, of course, on the wing, who unfortunately missed out on a World Cup spot. Hate to see it, but there's always the next one in 4 years, and I'm sure he'll be even more determined to get into that one. Then at striker, Georgios Giacomakis, and on the right wing, instead of Leo Labada, I think Jamesy Forrest might get a game, and I'd like to see him get a game too, because he always seems to strike at Paradise. Love a bit of Jamesy Forrest against Ross County. Anyways, that leads us into the final score prediction, and I think we will see Celtic end the first half of the season with a bang. While Ross County, they may be in a slight bit of form at the moment, I don't see Ange letting the lads take this one easy at all. Before the break especially, I think he's absolutely hammered them in training this week. Despite our form, I think he's hammered them this week to end the first half of the season on a very strong note. Make sure we go into the World Cup with at least a 7-point buffer on Rangers. Maybe even more if they falter in the early kickoff. Anyways, looking at Ross County, they can be dangerous at times, don't get me wrong, but this season they have been shocking in both attack and defense, conceding the second most amount of goals. I think they've scored the second least amount of goals. If we add, it's really, regardless of how these teams are in form, it always depends on Celtic. All these matches, the result is a result of Celtic's performance. That doesn't make sense, but I'll try and explain it. If Celtic start slow, we put ourselves in so much danger because other teams get belief. And when teams get belief against Celtic, they usually capitalise. If we kill teams off early, they're done. It's dusted. It's 3 points by halftime. Look at the Hibs game, for example. That was 3 points by halftime, without a doubt. So 2 or 3 goals in the first half, preferably 3, because 2 goals gives them the incentive that if they get 1 back, they're only 1 behind. So 3 goals I would like to see before halftime, and if we get that, I think we go into a clear sailing, pumping 3-4-0 at Paradise. 4-5-0, 6-0 even at Paradise. If we go into halftime at 0-0, I'll be a bit nervous. I think Celtic certainly need to start fast and start strong, set the pace early, but also as a result of setting that pace, set the scoreline as well and get those goals to the good, because as we know, anything can happen, especially with VAR. If we are in like the 85th minute and we're still at 0-0 or only 1-0 up, and Ross County get into the box, for all we know, a penalty can be given, and that is 3 points lost right there. Might have to salvage for 1. Although in recent weeks, Celtic have been accustomed to some late winners, and boy, oh boy, do we love some late winners. But I don't want to see them tonight. I want to see just Celtic put Ross County in their place, 5-0, 6-0, just breeze past it, head into the World Cup break, send the fans into high spirits. I know I'm probably heading into this World Cup break in higher spirits than most of you. I don't want to dig at Scotland because I am part Scottish, but Australia are in the World Cup. I do get to enjoy that. It's enjoyable. And also I get to see Celtic in my hometown. This is probably the best ever World Cup break for me ever, except for the fact it's in Qatar, because we all know about Qatar. Anyways, back to the Celtic game. 5-0 win I'm predicting, and I'm also predicting a hat-trick from Georgios Giacomakis. But that is all from me. So if you guys did enjoy the channel, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your final score prediction, and until next time, hail, hail.